Hey guys, There's here, and this stars the Black Series 6-inch action figure review. It's been a while since I've actually done a review on a Black Series figure. Um, but Black Series, they haven't been releasing a ton of figures, not like Marvel Legends, who have like 4 waves in circulation right now, not counting old waves, still peg warming. And Black Series, it's like they don't release nearly as many figures, and I know why. It's because they do a lot more unique sculpts with many of their figures. But even the more newer figures like Kira, Vorlom, and then Bespin Han and Tobias Beckett are hitting stores now, but I haven't seen any of those new figures. But I was able to pick up Lando Calrissian from the Solo movie. I've been wanting to get this figure for a little while now. I just kept passing on it, but I've decided to finally get it. So take a look at it. I really liked Lando in the movie. I think Donald Glover did a really good job. You got the standard Black Series packaging, Lando Calrissian, pretty cool image of Lando there. Lando Calrissian number 65, another image of Lando, and a brief bio which says, smooth and sophisticated Captain Lando Calrissian stands ready to retire from the life of the smuggler and instead become a full-time gambler, or sportsman as he calls it, shuffling from card game to card game across the galaxy. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to get this guy cracked open, we'll take a closer look at the figure. Alright, now I got Lando out of the packaging. This is a really cool figure, it's done pretty well. Honestly, I really do like it. Sculpt and paint's pretty good for the most part. Accessories aren't too bad. It's overall a pretty solid addition to the Black Series collection. So first, take a look at the head sculpt, which is definitely, I'd say, probably the highlight of this figure. It does use the Photo Realtek to get the face printing on there, and if I can get it to focus properly, it does look pretty good. It doesn't want to focus for some reason. There we go. It looks pretty good. I think it does look quite a bit like Donald Glover, the actor who portrayed Lando in Solo. I like that he has a more sort of animated kind of facial expression. It's not just a blank stare. That's also really cool. The facial hair looks really good. The hair sculpt itself is also really good. You got the cape going on here. It's just flat matte black with the collar as a glossier black. That's pretty cool. It just sits on his shoulders, doesn't attach in any way, it just sits there. It's made of a pretty pliable plastic. It is painted blue on the inside, which I think looks pretty cool. Definitely reminiscent to his original trilogy outfit. Obviously having the cape on does hinder some articulation. I mean, you can get his arms up and whatever, but if you try to spread his arms, the cape is pretty much going to come off. So, if you want to have display the cape, kind of has to be in a pretty neutral sort of pose. That's okay. You can remove the cape. There were times in the movie where he didn't wear a cape, I'm pretty sure. And you got the rest of the figure here. He does have the scarf here, which is made of a really pliable plastic. It's a glossy black with these white decals on it. This is also something, if you want to, you can remove. You can just take that off. It just wraps around his neck pretty securely. You can take that off as well. You got the rest of his tunic here, which is in a yellow color, pretty bright yellow. You got the black sort of flap there and the stripe. A little bit of paint chip in there, not too bad. It's actually just scraped off for the most part, so that's okay. I'm not sure how this body was done. It almost looks like the top of the torso was sculpted in the yellow plastic, but then they painted the bottom yellow and it's sculpted in a black plastic in the bottom. You can kind of see it almost looks like the black is kind of trying to bleed through a bit on the bottom, and then the yellow on the top is just slightly brighter than the yellow on the bottom. It's not super noticeable, but it is kind of annoying, I will admit. You got the arms here. It's actually got some pretty thin arms, but I guess Donald Glover's not the bulkiest guy in the world. Hands look good. They got trigger finger on this hand, and on this hand you actually have a sculpted ring, which is really cool. And he's got like a normal kind of red belt for his pants, and you got the gun holster belt, silver belt buckle, looks pretty good. The holster's glued onto his thigh there. And then the pants are a nice sculpt. Nothing too crazy, a matte black, kind of dressy looking pants. They did sculpt the back of the joints, which is really cool. And he does have these glossy black shoes, which look pretty good as well. Overall, it's a pretty good looking figure, good sculpt, good paint. I don't really have much issue with it in that regard. In terms of articulation, he's pretty good. He has that new joint in the neck, so he's got a double ball joint. And then he also has a ball joint at the base of the neck, so you can look down decently, look up decently. He has a lot of pivot and rotation, so you can get quite a bit of movement out of this. Actually, now that I think I actually have the neck. Yeah, the neck's supposed to go this way. Had it turned the wrong way from the packaging. There we go. Ball hinges of the shoulders move pretty good. They go pretty far up and do all the rotation. Single hinge of the elbows move further than 90 degrees, which is awesome. Ball joint of the torso. If you move it too far back, you do kind of see the gappage. Crunches forward a bit. Pivots a decent amount. Rotates. No waist swivel. Ball joint of the hips. Move pretty good. Sole cut the thighs. Double hinges at the knees, which move really well if you get them going. And then hinge at the ankle with a rocker joint. So he has pretty good articulation. With the cape on, it's always going to be a bit hindered, but aside from that, pretty good. In terms of accessories, I guess if you count them, he does have what I already showed. He does have the scarf, and he does have the cape. He also comes with his blaster, so here's his blaster here that he uses in the movie. It's just all silver paint, but this is accurate to how it was in the movie, I'm pretty sure. What's interesting is actually it's like the same blaster that the Death Troopers use instead of this, but this one has the extended mag, or not extended mag, sorry, but extended barrel, which is really cool. And you can actually remove the barrel. It just has a peg and it goes in the hole there, so if you want to, you can just have the normal looking blaster if you want, or you can have the extended mag. So I think that's really cool. I like this accessory. You can hold it really well. Hand's nice and pliable plastic. You can put the finger in the trigger, and you got not Han, but Lando holding his blaster. I think that looks really cool. He also, like I said, has the holster, so you can slot that right in there. There's another clip in there. I'm not really sure what that's for. It might be for this. No, I don't know what that's for. Because the gun. Oh, it's supposed to go down further. That's why. I messed this up a little bit. There we go. Like that. So he's got actually quite a few clips for that, but it holds the blaster really securely on his thigh. So that's also really cool. Now, we'll do some quick little comparisons for you. Alright, so here we got Lando, and here he is next to Han Solo from the same wave in the same movie. I think these guys look really good together. Pretty happy to have this duo going on. That's really cool. But here he is also next to the Solo A Star Wars Story Chewbacca. Get him fitting in there. Chewbacca is significantly taller than Lando, but that makes sense. So I think the scaling there is really good. And moving these guys out of the way. Here he is next to the original trilogy Lando that we got a little while ago. And I will say that Hasbro did a pretty good job on this head sculpt. This is before the face print, and it's still like, if they did a face print on this figure, it'd look way better. But I think this one still is pretty good for not using face print. It's one of Hasbro's better human head sculpts. I still see Billy D. Williams in there. Yeah, that's pretty cool too. You can definitely see the similarities, but also the differences, so I think that's cool. And they're about the same height as well. That makes sense. So overall, this is a really good figure. I mean, if you're not into the Solo A Star Wars Story movie, then he's an easy pass. I wouldn't bother getting him. But if you like Donald Glover, and if you like Solo, like I did, then I think 100% recommend picking this one up. It's really cool. Probably one of the better figures of the wave as well. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video.